No one is currently close to being on Peterbot's level. However, there is an up-and-coming pro out of Europe who is only 13 years old who has the possibility to go on that trajectory. I want you guys to meet Shark. Shark has exploded in Chapter 6 with his competitive success, continually placing high in Solo Cup finals, winning one, and also having a very decent first Grands placement. In this new season, he has taken it up another notch as he has placed first with his new trio in the first round of the Divisional Cup and outfragged every single Europe pro in the super stacked Marcod TV solo tournament. So in today's video, we're going to break down how he had an insane 13 elimination victory royale in that tournament, which allowed him to get a top 10 placement, securing himself as maybe the best fragger already in Europe. Shark is landing at this place just south of Canyon Crossing on the mountain. At first glance, it doesn't seem that good of a route. However, you can tell that he's been studying this as he's going to get an easy amount of shield here, breaking all of these slurp barrels, and then go into this little secret tunnel here where it gives him the additional shield to top off as well as more loot density. Now, an opponent is in the same tunnel here, but he smartly doesn't take this fight early and goes back to more south where he can get his materials up, and before first zone closes, he essentially has a full loadout with heals, only really missing the bat. With how absolutely stacked this tournament is, he knows that he needs Storm Surge as well as a bat. Take a look here as multiple opponents get into engagement on the very south portion of this map. He does a very good job here of making sure he doesn't reveal his presence the entire time, consistently crouching and slowly building when other opponents are. Eventually, another opponent tries to leave the POI, but then he immediately gets a damage advantage of the sky and then plays incredibly aggressive, eventually cleaning up that elimination to get some much needed surge. After picking up that elimination, he goes back to the old build fight because he knows there was around 3 opponents there and only 2 have been spotted thus far. He sees one hiding inside of the shed and immediately builds up to him. It's very laggy, but he gets the high ground initially, starts off with an easy crack, and then hits a very nice floor at peak to essentially delete Cade here in less than 2 seconds to basically maximize his surge already, making the only thing that he needs is still a bat. As he's rotating out of the area in the south, he is blessed with the fact that the van spawns there. He immediately makes sure to block off all angles so he can't get third-partied, and he easily claims his fan, which gifted him a 200 HP Chug Jug and the Mythic AR, which gives him a significant loot advantage on the rest of the lobby. As I've mentioned previously, he still doesn't have a bat here, but everything is going to change. He spots an opponent in the distance here and realizes if he catches perfect timing, he will be able to secure the rotation item that he needs. He gets in a perfect position here behind this tree, completely catching Reason off guard here, and he hits a hard pump shot, cleans him up with the AR, and now he has the movement item, forcing him to not have to WP any further. Once he secures the bat, his playstyle goes from aggressive to essentially defensive. Take a look at these rotations here. As the zones continually pull north, he doesn't ever press his luck when he gets into any of these zones. Essentially, when he just gets in on the edge here, he just boxes up and waits around, knowing he doesn't even really need to go for tags here, since he's already picked up 3 eliminations worth of Storm Surge. After finally getting away from a north pull, he gets a very favorable pull into half and half. However, he's going to make a minor mistake here, initially blocking off his back as you can see, but he doesn't do it a second time when he elevates over these old boxes and ends up getting fried, using a significant amount of heals and a good amount of materials, forcing him to essentially not be as stacked as he possibly could have been. Things are going to go from bad to worse here as he gets a maximum distance pull. Now, in this level of stack lobby, along with the meta here, it's going to be very difficult to take 0 damage on this rotation. Unfortunately, he immediately takes some damage, forcing him to stop and heal. Once again, he has to do the exact same thing, and this time though, he is granted a refresh, and unfortunately for him though, he's not able to secure most of it. He's at least be able to get his wood capped up, which is going to allow him to get in zone here, but with this long rotation, he is now essentially shambles in terms of materials. This next rotation is going to start off with some good luck here as an opponent directly next to him pops a launch pad. This allows him to challenge height where he goes to try and get a surprise play, but once that opponent fights back, he immediately jumps off. I like the way he attacks his zone here as he goes to the side that is opening up and he continually finds ways to be protected with other opponents around him. Eventually, he's going to get to this spot here where he's perfectly sitting on this nice right-hand peak, giving him a ton of information and also protection from the rest of the lobby. He sits in Storm here, I essentially believe, just in case that it pulled back, because this would have obviously granted them the most protection. Now things are going to turn around here as he gets an absolutely massive refresh onto this opponent in front of him, hitting 2 hard pump shots and cleaning up with the AR. It was a little bit of a mistake to try and go back for this additional loot here. He doesn't get punished for it, but eventually realizes that he has enough materials to go ahead to the front side, and once he gets in, he makes a nice Tayson box, and now he is recovered from this horrible shambles situation. After getting established after that refresh, he ends up elevating a couple of layers, and once again, once the zone is about to switch, he stays in the Storm just in case it pulls back. However, once again, it pulls far, but we're going to see fantastic use of the bat here as he first jumps, hitting a crack onto the high ground opponent in Queasy, and then once again using the bat to jump to the side and get a huge refresh, and then at this point, he decides to play for height. After securing the high ground, unfortunately, he's not able to keep it, as another opponent who has a significant amount of hard materials easily takes the high ground here and forces Shark to go down to a lower layer. This is a great decision, as he is going to be rewarded after getting established with this Tayson box. As Trulex tries to break in the back of the tarp, he's able to pick up that elimination, not only getting a refresh, but actually putting him in a much better position in zone. He repeats, creating a significant amount of space, and once again is rewarded as a shambles opponent without mats is directly on his floor edit, and he edits and one pumps him, securing that refresh as well. He eats a massive pump shot here though, but he's able to recover, getting the minis and the big off, and to stabilize in his endgame. After establishing on the front side and popping the big, he knows he still needs a refresh for Siphon. He sees opponents fighting to his right on his lair, and once one rotates, he makes a nice Widow edit, cracking him and picking up that elimination. Vico tries to jump directly into space here, and he hits another hard pump shot, and Vico ends up going down the Storm. Take a look at the poise though, as when he goes to get these materials, he makes sure to cover his head first, and then pop the bob to maximize the amount of Siphon plus bob heals. This allows him to get a significant amount of materials, and when he gets cut off here, he simply just goes back to the low ground to claim some space. After securing the space on the low ground, he sees an opponent get cracked to his right, but take notice of the patience here, as he doesn't immediately auto-edit. He makes sure to pop his minis, and once that opponent jumps in for pure desperation, he's able to easily pick up that elimination. Now, it is a 1v1v1, and now we're going to see some good mechanics here, as he realizes an opponent is directly standing on top of his Florin cone. He double edits him down, cracks his shield, uses good movement to get behind a peanut butter peak, and then takes him out as well, turning it into a 1v1 versus Vigo. The 1v1 starts off poorly, because after he edits out, he ends up eating a massive shot, but fortunately the white Siphon is still ticking. He throws down a bob here, which is actually going to be the reason why he's able to secure this victory. Eventually, once Vino drops down from in the Storm, he ends up missing a shot here and then eating a big one again, but he returns with a massive 100 pump and then predicts that Vino is going to overslide, essentially aiming at the zone, and he's able to connect with the Mythic AR to clutch up here and secure this 13 elimination victory royale against Europe's best. Well guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's VOD review. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.